So my top three priorities are, first, to ban Democrat chairs. There's simply no reason why, when Republicans vote for a Republican to go into the legislature, that we turn around and we hand that power directly over to the Democrats after they're sworn in. I mean, when you elect somebody, you want them to represent you the way that you've elected them to do. But we have a legislature that for over the last 22 plus years, going on almost a quarter of a century, has been willing to hand and cede that power over to the minority party. Congress doesn't even do that. We're the only state in the country that does this. And this is indefensible, and it needs to stop. Absolutely has to stop. Second is border security. Border security is a huge issue. Everyone knows that we have a problem. So we have over 8+ million people who have illegally entered this state, not just the country, this state. And this is a huge national issue and a neighborhood issue, especially with the amount of drugs that are coming across, fentanyl coming across and killing, not just nationally, but here in Texas. We have deaths occurring all over the state, plus the human trafficking and the sex trafficking of minors. This is indefensible and it needs to stop. We need to embolden our governor, and the legislature needs to stand up and make sure that we put an end to this. Third, property taxes. That's an issue near and dear to everybody's heart. There's no reason, when we had a surplus as big as we had, that we didn't get as much as we should have coming back. Because remember, the government has no money of their own. They have our money, yours and mine. We should be first in line. Texans should be first in line to get the benefits of that, not just handing it out to anybody else willy-nilly. It's important to remember that the needs of the business community, and especially the role of government is to ensure and protect life, liberty, and property. And all governing laws should reflect that. But with regards towards the businesses, yes, we have to take care of our businesses. We need to make sure that businesses can thrive on their own. It shouldn't be a government subsidy or a handout where the government gets to pick and choose based off of some sort of corporate subsidy. We should let market forces dictate who's going to succeed and who's going to fail, not the government. Public education is the civil rights issue of the 21st century. See, parents with the money, they can move their kids to a different school. They can send them to a private school. They could even move if they have to. I know many people who have moved into other areas simply because of the schools. But children whose parents don't have that luxury, if you will, or don't have that capability, they're stuck in whatever school district they have based on their zip code. Why is it that some children should be punished and stuck in a low-performing school simply because of their zip code? We need to make sure that everyone has the same type of opportunity and equality with regards towards education and access to education. From a legislative perspective, I believe that we need to make sure that transportation can actually sustain the needs of the community. If a business owner needs to get from one side of town to another, or if a salesperson needs to get around, or if you just need to get your kids to school, we need to make sure that people have that access. But when we start overcrowding our infrastructure, when we start overburdening it, simply because the overdevelopment of an area has been, well, we can't build out anymore, we're going to build up. That creates an issue, and that issue should be addressed prior, and at least thought of prior to the continued development and build and everything that's going on within our communities. We have to take infrastructure into consideration on everything. Water is a finite resource. Our infrastructure, we need to make sure that our roads, our water, everything is in accordance with what we have the capacity to serve. Right now, if you were to talk to Sid Miller, he would tell you, our agriculture commissioner, he would say that we have water sustainability for the life of 25 million people a year here in Texas. Currently, we have a population of over 32 million, and that's not including the 8 million that are coming across illegally through our border. So we're continuously fighting this catch-up, if you will. And we need to address this ahead of time. This needs to be something that gets prioritized ahead of any of the building in the future building. Yes, I'm all for property rights, but we have to take the property rights into consideration of the people that already live there, as opposed to those that we want to build for that future development. Workforce development is extremely important. We have a lot of great schools and we have a lot of educational academies. Collin College is great for their academy that they have, where their instruction and their institutional capabilities are providing kids who are also in high school, and they're doing high school learning and academic learning throughout the career college. It is amazing. It's wonderful. And I think the legislature should embrace that. We shouldn't stifle it with any more government regulations and other types of compliance and manipulations that they're trying to get into. What we need to ensure is that our students have the ability to learn, have the ability to access those academic achievements and get to those areas. And as long as folks like Collin College are continuing to do this with their career academy, I think that Collin County is going to be in a great spot for traditional growth. Well, that's part of what that last question was with regards towards the career academy. The economic development, the career development, what's going on within the society. We have businesses that just need to flourish. We have businesses that are flourishing. And then we have corporate subsidies and handouts that are going out to just lift some up that are failing. We should let market forces really work. Market forces are going to be the true determination because, again, it goes back to the tax dollars that are being spent, they're yours and mine. And why are we giving our tax dollars to businesses that for some reason aren't running properly or that aren't being led the way that they should be? So we need to make sure, again, that this goes back to market forces producing and helping lift up the economy. If we go back to history and we look at our founding fathers, they understood that partisanship and bipartisanship, we had to agree on things. We had to make things work. Because to disagree with everything that the founding fathers had and that they put into our foundation of this country would lead to tyranny. So we're constantly being asked on the right to give in a little bit here, and we're always being asked for those bipartisanship issues to bring us from the right to the left. But we never ask from the left to the right. There's never a bidirectional aspect. It's always the one way. We continue to give up what it is that we stand for. And I stand for faith, freedom, and family. And anybody asks me to compromise on that, I won't be compromising on it. But as far as bipartisanship, when it comes to economic growth or things like this, we can find ways to work together that aren't going to impact faith, family, and freedoms.